everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be making the continuation of our last video where we use Google Forms to create an attendance sheet while we scan the barcode using QR.io, of which in the last video, these are the results we get when we scan the QR code. So today what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be using the information that we get from the timestamp to fetch the month and the week in which the particular student or the user scan the attendance. Even though when we look at our timestamp, we can see the date and the month, but when we look at it, it might be a bit difficult for you to for people to see, especially when the attendance gets longer. So today we want is to show what month, instead of using 02, which means February, we want to see the month. The date is 23. You want to know what week in February is 23. So that's what we're going to be doing in the video. And if you are yet to watch the last video, you can kindly do so now. The link is showing somewhere around the screen right now. Alright, so in order to do this, the first thing you're supposed to do is you come to File. Under File, you come to Settings. When you get to Settings, Calculation, just like you can see here, see this part that say Interactive Calculation. Make sure it is on. If it is off in your Google Sheet, make sure it is on, because if it's off, you won't be able to do the calculation. To be showing you an error. So once you turn it on, click on Save Settings, and once that is done as well, make sure you have the Google Doc offline. Install the Google Doc extension in your Chrome. Once this is done, then you can start get right into the formula. So we're going to make use of a certain formula in order to be able to fetch the month and the week in which the user scans it. And once we are able to do it, it will be fetching the month and the week automatically. It means you won't be performing this arithmetic yourself. The system will automatically be doing it once you get it right from this point. So to start, let me zoom in so that you can see what I am doing. Alright, so we have a column here. This is our A, this is B. So everything we're going to be dealing with in this video will be majorly concerned with the A. That's the A row and its column, of which under the A we have the timestamp and the date. So in order to do that, we're going to make use of a certain formula called the array formula. Why are we using the array formula? Because we want the equation, the formula, to work on all the rows. Not that it will not work on some rows. We want it to work on all the rows. That's why we're making use of the array formula. So the first thing to do is we'll come down to D2, because we have to make sure that we are on the same line where we have our details. If you come down to any other row here and type in using the same formula or use it, it will not work. So you have to ensure that you are targeting this same column. And in order to do that, we'll start with an equals to, because it's a calculation, so we have to start with an equals to. Then we'll say array formula. Yeah, that's the first thing. Then we'll open a bracket. Then we'll say if. Yeah, come down here because I clicked outside. So we'll say if. So inside the if, sorry about that. Yeah. So we'll say if. So inside the if, we're going to open another bracket. We're going to open another bracket and say A2. Where do we get the A2? That's where the timestamp is 2302. That is the column and the row we are targeting. So we say A2 and A equals, we put an empty string. We put an empty string. Now, why are we using an empty string? We're using an empty string. That is, if peradventure a user scan the code and no timestamp is being recorded, it means this column here will be empty. That's exactly what we are telling. That's exactly what we are saying using this formula. So we'll now continue by now saying if A2 is empty here, nothing should happen. But if it is not empty, that is, it's fetch the time and the date, then the next thing is it should return back with a text that says A2 the same A. We have to, don't forget in the beginning I said we are targeting majorly this column. I believe you remember. So we're going to say this column, then we should return the month. Let me reduce this so you can see it properly. Yeah, so it should return the month that we are in. Now, which month is that? We don't know yet, but we will see how we're going to get that. So once it, as long as this string is not empty, it will return the month. But like I said, we don't just want the month, we want the month and the week. So we are going to say and week. Then we'll write week there exactly. Just let me space it so that it is clear. Then we'll put in the week here. Then we'll say and. This and now means how are we now going to calculate the week? How do we know what week the user scanned it from the date that the timestamp fetch? So that is where we are going to make use of this. We say integer. Integer means we want whatever value it gives us, it should be rounded off. We just want the whole number. We don't want any other part. We just want the whole number. So once that is done, we open the bracket and say day. Under bracket and say A2 quotation column A. Close it minus 1. We want the week to start from 0, so we start with the minus 1. We close it, then divided by 7. Why are we using 7? Because we have 7 days. 1 week has 7 days. There are 7 days in a week. That's why we are dividing it by 7 days. Then we'll say plus 1. After we say plus 1, then we'll close the bracket. So now how does this calculation now being done? We say the day A2. In A2, what do we have? The date here it says 23. So what it means is that 23 minus 1 divided by 7 plus 1 will give us the week. So let's make use of a calculator. So we have 23 here. So we're going to say 23 minus 1 equals 22, right? Divided by 7. 3.1 blah, blah, but we don't need it because we're using an integer. The system will automatically just pick 3. Then we say plus 1 equals 4. Equals 4, which means 23 is actually in week 4. That is what the system is telling us. So when we press enter now, okay, what happened? We have an error. Oh, okay, sorry, it's just to put a dash here. Yeah, we say enter. Okay, so we have an error again. All right, let's go through our formula one by one again. Let's see where we get it wrong. Okay. So this is it. We've seen it. We have the months here. We are supposed to close this bracket here. Then we have the integer. Okay, we have 2 closed brackets, so which means we have an open bracket here. And then enter. Yeah. So can you see? 23 means week 4. Now when we look at our calendar, let's look at February. February 23 is where? This is the first week, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. So 23 is actually in the 4th week of February. That is how we get week 4. And from our timestamp now, 02 means February, 23 means it's week 4. So now when another user now scan the QR code, automatically once it scans it will show the week. You don't need to be putting in the formula again. Once you've done it once, the system will automatically be fetching it for you. That is an advantage. Now when you are looking towards sorting out your data, it will be much more easier because you can say, okay, we want to see week 4 in February. It is easily seen instead of coming to the timestamp and be looking at 0 to, I mean, when it gets bulky, it's sometimes, you know, time consuming and tiring. So I'm going to put in the formula I use. I'll include it in the description attached to this video. Don't forget to like and give me a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Until next time, bye bye.